Oh, it's all good. All right. It looks like we are live for round two. Apologies for the technical difficulties, but if you're catching us now, you're catching us on Facebook or YouTube. Eventually we'll get around to adding TikTok. I want to do some testing and make sure that we don't blow things up when we actually do go live on TikTok. So maybe Friday night, we'll see. I promised everybody on TikTok the last couple nights that I've been on that I'll be on Friday night for sure, and we'll do some actual live hypnosis. So they're all looking forward to that.
Yeah, do you do hypnosis through the screen on TikTok?
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably the top thing that gets requested. Of course, my pushback question. I think everybody who knows me knows my pushback question, which is, wait a minute, how do you know you're not hypnotized already? And it just drives them bonkers when I say that. I did have a couple people that were very spiritually religious and attempt to disrupt the live, and it was a little different, but again, you handle it with, this is all natural, and if God created us, he created this in us, so we might as well make use of it as a good tool for change, and why not?
And it's great for the algorithm as well if you've got people blowing up the comment section with whatever they're posting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. So it's been an interesting ride. We can talk about that in a few minutes. We got a couple of conferences that we got to talk about. Of course, the one that you're going to, for everybody who doesn't know what's behind Grant, that would be Heathrow Airport. He's on his way, or will be on his way, to the Michigan Hypnosis Conference.
And weirdly, I set off Wednesday evening. So that was the journey from the north down to Gatwick. Got to Gatwick, everything was good to go in Gatwick. I got there super early, so because Michigan conference last year, I got stuck in Dublin at immigration. They'd closed immigration.
I remember you saying something about getting stuck in immigration. Yeah.
So I got stuck in immigration. So I thought, I'm not going through Dublin. I always go through Dublin to America, but I thought, I'm not going through Dublin. I'm going to set off nice and early. And literally at 7 o'clock this morning, which is Thursday morning, I travelled overnight to get here. Just as we were literally boarding the plane, they've kind of stopped it, made an announcement. Some of the crew are sick. They've cancelled the flight. And then panic just ensued then. So other flights have been cancelled as well. And then it's just caused this massive knock-on effect. But I've managed to get other flights from Gatwick, which is the other side of London. So that's where I am now. And I will be there, I think the phrase is by hook or by crook. Michigan is such a great conference, and so many great people there as well. And it's I really love some of the more kind of the regional hypnosis conferences, but this still attracts people from all over the world. Jeff Bennick's going to be there. I know some other guys from the UK that got there a little bit earlier than me. It's going to be great. So but I'm definitely taking the long route there. So I've still got a long journey ahead of me.
Yeah, well, like you said, by hook or by crook, you'll make it.
Exactly.
Because you got something to do there.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a bit impolite to not turn up for the closing keynote. So
but you know what? You got time. You can get there before the closing keynote.
Do you know what? That's what my stress levels early today were like, so high. But then I kind of thought, do you know what? As long as I'm there for Sunday, it's all good. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, and we know these guys from the Performing Hypnosis Conference as well, and of course Kevin is well known.
Such a great line.
Yeah, it is, and it'll be nice to see them again, because that's the other conference that we want to bring up here and highlight.
Yeah, the Performing Hypnosis
Summit. Really, there we go. Really look at that.
Look at that, animations and everything.
Well, you know what's really cool about it? The countdown is on.
Yes.
Like 4 months. 4 months. That's it, and we'll be together again.
Yeah. Really excited for it. Again, in the new space this year as well, which is closer to the strip, which is good. So it means people can go out and do their own thing. But we've got such a great calendar of events for them as well. The Catherine Hickland's house, massive highlight for me last year. So pleased she's arranged for it again this year. That's
Oh,
absolutely.
100%.
Oh yeah.
The one thing
Uh,
I will say is that we, as a group, when we had year one, I mean, you, Jim, and I, we were working on the tech right up to the last minute, trying to get things working. We had some
yeah.
glitches,
A glitch or
but it was all online, right? And it was a good idea. Everybody said it was a good idea, and they wanted to, try it out in person.
yeah.
So when year two came around, much smoother on the tech side. We still had a couple of minor glitches, but nothing that was a showstopper by any stretch of the imagination. And the people on the ground, I mean, you mentioned Catherine Hickland. She really knocked it out of the park. She
Oh yeah.
hosted a lovely event. She performed for us, and it wasn't just a hypnosis show. There was mentalism. She sang for us, and just an absolute gem of a person
Oh,
to
unbelievable.
allow us into her house.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was just the whole thing. I mean, it was hybrid. So we did have some stuff online, but some stuff in person. And I love the hybrid stuff and I love the live stuff, but nothing beats like that in person element to it. And seeing people like Mark Usick there, Terry Stokes, some legends like Michael Johns, legends that just turned up to show their support. Fantastic, which is that's not what you get from online and live. There's something about the energy of the room, and like you said, when Catherine started singing the songs from Les Mis, it
Oh,
was just the hairs on the back of my
right
neck.
there.
Yeah, unbelievable.
You really needed to have a handkerchief or something to
Yeah,
dry your eyes because it was powerful. It
yeah,
really was.
yeah. And it's to be able to offer that, like literally come, both me and Jim spoke about it. Like we were in the industry years before we get to kind of meet in person these legends in the industry. And what's amazing about PHS Performing Hypnosis Summit is those legends are wanting to give back and share. And so people that have been in the industry 6 months, some people that hadn't even done a show but were looking at doing shows, were able to not only kind of pick the brains of legends, they also got to go to a cocktail party with celebrities.
Yeah.
And so it really was kind of like a real taste of that Vegas headliner lifestyle, just for one summit. So yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah, no, 100%. The one thing that I really really appreciated, besides all the interesting stuff that Catherine has in her house, and I'm not going to say anything more about it. You have to be there to experience it.
Yeah,
Is the one thing that I really appreciated about the summit versus Hypno Thoughts. Hypno Thoughts is really great for making an initial connection, and hey, we should chat. There isn't a ton of time to sit down and talk to people because you're on the go. There's lots happening
yeah,
all the time. There's different groups that are wanting your attention, and come do street hypnosis, come do this, come do that. With a smaller conference like this, you actually do really get to sit down and chat with people and connect with them. Like I had a great conversation with Superman, you know, and and again, if you haven't been there, you don't know. So, but the captain and Superman had a really great conversation out in the hall when when one of the sessions were kind of ongoing and wrapping up, and I mean, you don't get that anywhere else.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
And that's it. It is. Stage hypnotists for years were kind of, they were on the fringe on the hypnosis conferences. And like you said, there's others where there's lots of stuff going on. This is one where it's people dedicated to the performance side of things. So you've already got that in common with everybody already. So it just means we can get straight into the nuts and bolts and start talking serious entertainment, serious performance stuff.
yeah. We should mention, of course, the schedule is still being developed, but we do have, if you give me just a second here, the
Yeah,
workshop pre and post, and this is important because there is a conference that follows PHS
yeah,
the next weekend. So if you time things correctly, you can not only take in PHS and maybe a post conference. You can extend your stay, a pre conference, a post conference, and attend the next conference,
Yeah. So you
all,
can get
all
your
within the space of a week and a half.
yeah, exactly. You can get your conference bug well and truly fixed.
Yep, and it happens right at the beginning of the year, which is really cool. You
Yeah.
know, what we Canadians would consider prime time to vacate the country and go south somewhere, this is a good time to do it. So if you're Canadian out there, or if you are in a northern climate, this is a good time to be in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But if you look at the pre-conferences here, you have Scott McFall, you have John Sterbone, you have Sean Michael Andrews. Um, Again, Jeff Bennick, we saw him with the Michigan hypnosis conference as well. Sandra Grace and Jennifer Norris Nelson will be there again. These are world class speakers. They are people that have in depth knowledge. I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of them face to face. So I've interviewed a few of them, like John, for example, was on Hypnosis Hero about 2 months ago, I want to say. And that was the first time that he and I actually, apart from doing some tech support in year two with him to get him online and presenting, that was a great conversation. I'm looking forward to meeting him in face to face.
Yeah.
Michael Brody, again, somebody else I'd love to meet face to face. Tracy Kanan, of course, was there last year. That's again, if you're looking at presenting a show,
Yeah.
comedy is not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah.
I tell really great dad jokes. Today as Grant and I were talking just prior to coming online about the fact that I've just gone through a couple of days of professional development, and in one of the exercises that we did, we had to come up with our aha moments. So the minute they wrote aha on the board, what's your aha moment? I said, does the sun always shine on TV? That's about the laugh I got too, Grant.
Love it. Love it.
The dad jokes are funny, but they're not comedy funny. And when you're in a show and you're looking at creating something, you have Michael Brody teaching about a theme-based show, Tracy Kanan talking about the comedy that needs to be present. Where else are you going to get that? You know,
Yeah.
you
Jeff
know,
Jeff
and
Benning's class is again. I was talking to a hypnotist here in the UK who's just done a recent theatre tour, and he was on about like he was wanting to get the production of his show better. And I'm like, actually, I says you need to come to PHS just for Jeff Benning's kind of pre-conference show, pre-conference workshop, because that's going to teach you how you can automate your show lighting, your sound, and everything else like that. It's real tools that you can use to help make your show better.
yeah, and again, you don't necessarily find this at a lot of conferences that you go to.
Mm.
Like business people, I get it, but they're guarded. They're not going to share every secret that they have freely and say, I don't care, if you're my competition. Here's what we did that made us successful. That doesn't
Yeah,
happen at those types of conferences, right? Here, you're looking at people that have been in the business, some for many many years, that have a wealth of experience, and it's all here, and it's very easy, very accessible, and they are down to earth people.
yeah,
um, they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like the rest of us, as far as we know.
yeah,
We haven't actually tested that theory.
yeah. But yeah, but
uh,
like the fact you said as well, you can come at the beginning of this, do some like workshops, then come for the conference, then do some more workshops, and then go to another conference as well.
yeah, and here you have Richard Barker, talking about
Yeah,
marketing. And I know we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago in the mastermind group that we were in. And if you don't have incoming customers, you don't have income.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
and and so then you have a lull in your business. Now that may or may not be a good thing, depending on what kind of paperwork and grunt work you need to catch up on.
Yeah,
But if you're looking for customers, you need to be out there promoting what you do, and do it on as many different channels as you can. If
yeah,
it's if you're good with Facebook and Instagram, great. I As much as I am an Instagram model type of guy, uh, seem to do better on TikTok. So
yeah.
In fact, the last month I've been on, tried to be at least 3 times a week, if not more.
Nice.
And I've had, thousands of people roll through my lives, but I can tell you what the trends are. There are
Yeah.
three really top level questions that I get out of all of them. Besides the one, can you hypnotize me or hypnotize me now, because they think please and thank you don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Uh, Number one, can you help me stop smoking? Which I think is really surprising. Uh,
Yeah. That surprises me.
yeah, like to me, that one should be like number three. Uh, you would think with all the anti-smoking
Mm,
paraphernalia that is out there and advertising and whatnot, that wouldn't be as prevalent of a need, but that is the number one question that I've gotten on TikTok. Number two, weight loss.
yeah.
Um, and we've talked about it, and I let them know. I said, look, like this is not blim blam alakazam and you're thin. This is us working through your habits. How do you shop? What are you cooking? What are you eating? What are you preparing for food? Are you drinking enough water? What about your vitamins? Are you doing exercises? All of that needs to be taken into account. Then we deal with your mindset, because if you've been a yo-yo dieter, you might be at the wrong end of yo,
Hmm.
and your mind, you need to be focused on success as opposed to the up and down of failure. And
Yeah.
then the last thing is, and we know this from a lot of research, a lot of people use food as a way to self-regulate. And so if there's an emotional attachment to eating and food and all of that, we need to work through that as well. So it's a journey. It's not a one and done. And any hypnotist that says, yeah, I can make you thin in 30 days or less, no, they can make you thinner maybe, but they will never make you thin. um, and so oftentimes with that one, I get a little bit of pushback and a little bit of disappointment. But I said, think about it. After all of this stuff is in place, you're still the one that has to go out and do the exercise. You're the one that has to
Yeah.
go out and shop properly. You're the one that still has to go out and cook properly. You're the one that has to, walk past the Burger Kings and McDonald's and Wendy's of the world, and opt for the salad. What was it that Salish had there last year? The big salad with a couple of chicken breasts on it. Like that's a really power meal, uh,
Mm.
you know, as opposed to a hamburger, fries, and a large diet coke, right? So all of those pieces again, they all need to be put in place, and that's not always the answer people are expecting. They're looking. I had somebody last night who was a chef, said he gained 120 pounds over his career as a chef. And I said, well, I don't doubt it. My question is, why? Was it that you were taste testing, or was it that there was something else going on, like stress, that you were overindulging? So, it was a little bit of a discussion there.
Yeah.
And then the last one that I seem to get a lot of is stress and anxiety, which I thought would have been number one.
Yeah, well, I think stress and anxiety weave itself into all of the above as well. So again, when it comes to smoking, people, there's stress triggers there. When it comes to overeating, there's stress triggers there and anxiety there. So I think maybe it is number one as it weaves into all of those. What type of demographic are you kind of seeing? What age range of people?
Actually, surprisingly, the age group varies from, I'd say, early to mid 20s, all the way up to people that have, like I said, retired. So, 60,
Oh,
65 ish. Uh, I've had a couple of 70-year-olds, and like I said, pretty much everybody in between. I haven't, I actually thought I would, but most of the time I remember to mark that the TikTok is 18 plus, but I
yeah,
haven't seen that many teenagers.
I definitely think it's matured as a platform now.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and again, also there's a little bit of competition out there. There's a gentleman from Australia that's on fairly regularly, and there are a few other hypnotists uh, that are on regularly, and one in particular, Julia, who just is absolutely phenomenal. and really has a focused presentation around money and achieving that next step in your money
Oh,
journey.
cool.
So yeah,
I'll have to check her,
it. Go ahead.
I'll have to check her out.
Yeah, oh yeah, she's on quite a few times, and she does post on all the socials as well. So
Nice.
definitely, if you're on a money journey, I'd recommend her as a potential hypnotist. And that's the other thing I tell. So you're gonna laugh at this. When they ask me, well, what if I don't want to work with you? I said, no problem. I know about 2,000 hypnotists around the world.
Yeah,
I know people, from England all the way to
yeah,
Japan. So if you have some place in the world that you want to work with somebody in person, no problem. I will
yeah,
find somebody that will match that description for you. So and they're kind of shocked by that. It's like, well, why would you do that? I said, because that's going to help you. Why wouldn't I help you? You know?
yeah, yeah. I think it's we're part of that good community that wants to give back. I think gone are the days, and there's still people out there, but gone are the days where it's all about what can I get in it for me. What's in it for me. It's about how can I serve is a much better attitude that again a lot of people that we hang around with have that same kind of mindset.
Yeah. So, Performing Hypnosis Summit, of course, the speaker applications have closed.
Yeah,
If you have something that is so utterly, absolutely amazing, send it to Jim and Grant anyway, and they will take a look and see if there's a possibility of working you in
yeah,
to the schedule. But I think for the most part, that schedule is close to being finalized. And if you haven't booked your hotel room, get
do
on
it now.
it because that room block, when it disappears, it's gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no extending it and no increasing the number of rooms on that room block. So if you are planning to attend in person, at the very least, make sure you book your hotel room.
Yeah, it's
You
one
can
of the,
play with the flights, but book your hotel
yeah,
room.
yeah, absolutely. And it's one of them. I'm one of those people that always does everything last minute. So once you get it done, booked, it's done. Then you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. I'm
And the
really
other thing it
excited.
does is it helps us plan for the numbers, right?
Yeah,
If we know that you're all coming, then we will plan accordingly because
yeah,
it's the more the merrier, yes, but it's also the more activities and the more different scenarios we need to plan for, and that's not a problem. That's a good thing to have. Is
yeah,
more
exactly.
people coming than you expect. So
Yeah, yeah. Cool, cool. Well, we got it. We managed to get it to work in the end, Sean.
yeah, so this is Hypno News Round Two, coming to you live from the world's greatest location, the
Yeah,
airport.
from the airport. From the airport. There we go. So yeah,
Yeah.
on location.
Yep.
Cool.
Grant's on live on location. Jim, of course, is doing a show tonight, and then he's off to Michigan himself. So he will definitely see you there when you arrive. And for me,
Yeah.
I will hold down the fort in the Great White North, although it's been kind of the Great Rainy North. I think Jim said he mailed one of his books to me. I think he might have mailed the Seattle weather along with it. We've had 2 days of rain, and it's been one of those soaking rains that we don't
God.
normally get now. So the farming community is at a standstill until things dry out, and that's going to be a good week and a half before that happens. But yeah, by the time things dry out, we will be into autumn,
Yeah.
and it's always a sign when it hits autumn here. The leaves are already starting to turn. I won't take pictures and say here are all my yellow, red, and orange leaves, but they
Love
are
it.
starting. So
Yeah. I think last time, the first time I was at Michigan, it was up at Treetops Resort.
right,
And
yep.
all the trees were just beautiful. They were like golden and red, and it was just beautiful.
The one thing that Eastern Canada and Northeastern United States have over Western Canada is they have a variety of trees that turn multiple colors. We have trees that will turn color, but most of it is going to be the yellows and the oranges. If you see red you know that that's a tree that came from afar because it wasn't something that was normally around here.
Cool.
But yeah, it's that time of year.
Yeah. But I do know that where the conference is located, just across the river, is that they're Canada. So my original plan was when I got there early, it was to just take an Uber across the bridge,
I was
just
gonna
so I could kind
say,
of,
why didn't you drive down with Richard? He could have given
well,
you
yeah,
could have given you a lift, picked you up at the airport.
yeah. So yeah, so I'm definitely my plan is if I have time to cross the border just to say I've been to Canada.
Well, there you go.
Cool. But I
Okay.
should let you get off. I'm going to go do another lap of the airport whilst I wait for this check-in desk to open.
Sounds
Ah,
good.
cool.
Have a safe flight. Let's not have any of the you know that happened last time.
Well, this is that same airline. This is the fighting airline. So yeah,
Okay.
maybe that's why
Well,
they're doing this to
we'll be watching your social media for the next 24 hours then.
me. Yeah, exactly.
All
Cool.
right, sir. Safe
Sure.
travels.
Take care. See you later.
And as Jim would say, take care, be well, be awesome.
Be awesome.
Good night, everybody.